What if I told you the coldest, most haunting thing you could do after she leaves is absolutely nothing? No dramatic messages, no midnight phone calls, no showing up where she might be, no impulsive self-improvement posts hoping she'll see. Nothing. Just silence. Just a blank page where she used to write chaos. Just stillness that screams louder than heartbreak ever could. Because here's the truth. Most people don't leave expecting peace. They leave expecting power. They expect you to spiral, to chase, to need them. They expect tears, begging, jealousy, proof that they still own a piece of your soul. But when you give them nothing, when your world doesn't even flinch, that's when they feel the emptiness. That's when they start to second guess. That's when they realize they didn't break you. They freed you. This isn't a game. This isn't manipulation. This is control, real control. The kind forged in pain, silence, and brutal self-reflection. The kind that Stoics lived by and modern men have forgotten. This video is your blueprint. Not for revenge, but for transformation. You are not here to beg for closure or validation. You are here to rise and do it with no one to applaud but yourself. You are here to become the kind of man who doesn't chase, but chooses, who doesn't react, but rules himself. That's the man she never expected, and that's the man who makes her regret everything. So, if you're done shrinking, if you're ready to evolve into the version of you that can't be rattled, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Now let's begin. Number 1. She expected you to break. She thought you'd unravel. She thought your world would collapse the moment she walked out. That you'd pace around your room, replaying every conversation, every touch, every lie disguised as love. She expected the desperation, the neediness, the chaos, because that's what she's used to, that's what most men give her, and that's why not reacting is the most lethal thing you can do. You see, most people only measure their worth by the reaction they pull from others. If you crumble, it validates their decision to leave. It feeds their ego. It confirms they were the prize. But when you give her silence, when your life continues without a single crack showing, it shatters that illusion. You send a message louder than any words could carry. You never had that kind of power over me to begin with. It's not about being numb, it's about being unshakable. She expected drama, but you delivered discipline. She expected you to fall, but you rose. She thought she was the earthquake, but you were the mountain. That's what Stoicism is. It's not about pretending not to care. It's about not letting anyone else control what you care about. You don't get emotional leverage over a man who rules his mind. And when she realizes that, when she sees no signs of life where there once was fire, that silence will echo in her head louder than any argument ever could. And don't mistake this for a phase. This isn't temporary detachment. This is permanent elevation. This is you stepping into your power. Not to make her regret leaving, but to make sure she never gets access to the man you're becoming. She left thinking she ended something. She had no idea she started you. Number 2, don't chase closure, own it. You're sitting there staring at your phone, waiting for her to explain, for her to admit she was wrong, for some clean little ending that makes all the pain make sense. But here's the truth. Closure is a myth. It's a fantasy sold to the emotionally desperate. You don't get closure from her, you get closure from yourself. The moment you start chasing answers, you hand over control. You're telling her, you still decide how I feel. You still hold the key to my peace. That's not power, that's submission, and she knows it. Every time you reach out just to talk, just to get clarity, what you're really doing is bleeding out in front of someone who already walked away. She's not confused. She knows what she did. She just doesn't care enough to fix it, and you digging for reasons only makes you look smaller. Understand this. People who hurt you rarely have the courage to give you truth. They either lie to keep looking clean or disappear to avoid responsibility. So stop asking why. Stop needing a confession to heal. Closure isn't a conversation, it's a decision. It's you looking in the mirror and saying, "This chapter is over. I don't need her apology to move on. I just need my permission." You want power? Cut the cord yourself. You don't need her to tie up loose ends. You need to burn the rope and walk away clean. Let her wonder how you moved on without needing a single word from her. That's what Stoic strength looks like. You hold the pen now, you write the ending, and it says, "I owe myself peace, not explanations." Number 3, attention is currency. Cut the supply. Your attention is the most valuable currency you have, and every time you check her stories, respond to her messages, stalk her profile, or mention her name, you're spending it. You're handing her proof that she still matters, that she still has gravity in your world, and let me tell you, she feels that. Even if she doesn't respond, especially when she doesn't, because silence on her end doesn't mean disinterest. Sometimes it means she's watching you chase, just to know she still can make you dance. But here's the shift. When you cut the supply, when the likes stop, when the texts stop, when the energy stops, she feels the drought. Hard. Because whether she admits it or not, your attention was feeding her. And now she's starving, not for you, but for the control she lost. The spotlight she took for granted is gone. That's not revenge, that's discipline. Stoicism teaches this simple rule. Don't give what isn't earned. Your attention isn't free. It's not a reflex, it's an investment. And anyone who walks out of your life forfeits the right to your focus. Let her feel the weight of being irrelevant, not with bitterness, not with hate, but with silence so cold it makes her question everything. Unfollow her, mute the chats. Stop checking her world like she still deserves a role in yours. You're not punishing her, you're protecting your peace. That's how kings move. Your time, your presence, your thoughts. They're a kingdom, and not everyone gets the privilege of walking through the gates. Number 4, the power of Stoic indifference. She texted you. Maybe she liked a post. Maybe she's suddenly checking in. You feel that rush. Like maybe she regrets it. Maybe there's hope. Don't fall for it. This is the moment that separates the emotional from the unshakable. This is where indifference becomes your weapon. You see, Stoic indifference isn't apathy. It's not pretending nothing hurts. It's knowing what hurts and choosing not to let it control you. It's the refusal to be pulled like a puppet by every emotional tug. She's not reaching out because she wants to fix things. She's doing it to see if the door's still open. Don't hand her the key. You don't need revenge. You don't need reconciliation. You need restraint. The coldest thing you can do isn't ghosting her. It's staying calm when she tries to disturb your peace. It's responding with the same energy you'd give a stranger. Not to be cruel, but because she's no longer entitled to your fire. That's the power of indifference. It's the unspoken reminder that your world kept turning without her. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not angry, you're aligned. You've made peace with what happened, and you don't need her to make it make sense. And when she realizes she no longer gets a reaction, when she sees her old tricks don't work anymore, that's when the regret creeps in. Not because you lashed out, but because you didn't flinch. That's real power. That's emotional sovereignty. Number 5, level up without broadcasting it. The moment she leaves, most guys run straight to the mirror, the gym, or their social feed. Not for growth, but for revenge. They want her to see them rising. They want her to scroll through their life and choke on regret. But here's the truth. If you're upgrading just to be seen, you're still chained to her attention. And that's not power, that's performance. Real growth? It's quiet, stoic, relentless. It doesn't scream, it whispers. You don't need to post every workout, every win, every new mindset. Because men who are truly leveling up don't announce it. They become it. You stop needing her to watch. You stop needing her to care. The glow-up isn't for her, it's for you. Not for revenge, but for rebirth. You see, when you keep it private, you build in peace. No distractions, no ego, just results. And when she does find out, if she ever does, it won't be because you showed her. It'll be because your name came up in rooms she never expected. Because you moved so silently, your success had no choice but to scream. That's what Stoic power looks like. Elevation without validation. So don't waste energy trying to prove anything. She's gone. Good. Use that space. Get sharper. Get stronger. Build something unshakable, something her eyes don't even deserve to see. And when she realizes the man she walked away from doesn't even look back, that's the regret she'll carry. Not because you flaunted it, but because she'll know she missed it. Number 6. Reverse the frame. She lost you. The moment she left, your mind probably whispered the same lie it tells every man in pain. You lost her. But let's break that illusion right now. You didn't lose her. She lost you. And the second you flip that frame, everything changes. Stop thinking she was the prize. That mindset is poison. It puts her on a pedestal and puts your self-worth in her hands. But here's the truth. If she walked away from a man willing to love her, protect her, build with her, she didn't win anything. She threw away something rare. And eventually, she'll come to realize she didn't leave a man who couldn't love her. She left a man who wouldn't tolerate being disrespected. This is where dark psychology comes into play. People regret the things they can't replace. So stop thinking she'll miss the moments. She'll miss you, your energy, your loyalty, your discipline, all the things she assumed would always be there. But now, they're gone. Not because you begged for her to stay, but because you stood tall when she walked and didn't chase. When you flip the narrative, you stop bleeding. You start building. You reclaim your identity. You become the man who knows he is the prize, not because of ego, but because of what he brings to the table. Peace, purpose, power. Let her sit with the fact that she walked away from that. Let her feel the absence, not of attention, but of value. Number 7, let her sit with the silence. She's waiting for the ping, the late-night message, the emotional breakdown, some sign that she still haunts your thoughts. Because silence, real silence, that's rare, that's unsettling. Most men can't sit with it. They rush to fill the void, with words, with rebounds, with distractions. But when you say nothing, truly nothing, you make her sit with what she did. No response, no reaction, just quiet space where she used to feel control. That silence becomes a mirror, and in that mirror, she's not just forced to face your absence. She's forced to face herself, her decisions, her games, her ego. At first, she might convince herself it means you don't care, but over time she starts to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Why doesn't he need closure? Is he really done? And the longer that silence stretches, the more the weight of it grows. That's the beauty of Stoic stillness. It doesn't chase, it doesn't explain, it doesn't beg. It just exists with power. You're not proving a point, you're protecting your peace. And she'll feel that distance, not just physically, but spiritually. Because silence isn't nothing, it's everything she wasn't expecting. Let her miss the comfort of your words. Let her question the meaning behind your quiet. Let her sit with the reality that she ended something real, and you didn't even flinch. That kind of calm, that kind of control, it's not just cold, it's untouchable. Number 8, reinvent, don't rebound. The breakup hits, and the first instinct is to fill the void. Swipe, text, distract, someone, anyone, to take the edge off the loneliness. But here's the brutal truth. Rebounds don't heal, they just numb. And numbing is the enemy of growth. You don't need another body in your bed. You need yourself in the mirror, facing everything you've been running from. Because what's really happening? You're not missing her. You're missing the validation, the routine, the comfort of being wanted. And so you scramble to replace it. But every time you jump into a quick fix, you're dragging your pain into someone else's arms. And that's not healing. That's hiding. This is the Stoic path. Reinvention, not replacement. You take that pain and you build. You pour it into your health, your craft, your purpose. You use the silence not to scroll, but to sculpt. Every moment you would have spent chasing someone else's attention, you invest into becoming someone you respect again, not to prove anything to her, but to create a version of you that she couldn't even touch anymore. And when she checks back, and she won't find a man who patched himself with another woman. She'll find a man who forged himself in fire, who didn't rebound, he rebuilt. And that kind of transformation, that's not attractive, that's intimidating. Number 9, your absence must echo. When you leave someone's life, make it felt, not through drama, not through bitterness, but through the undeniable silence of your absence. That's the kind of departure that leaves a mark. Not because you made a scene, but because you took your value with you. No one feels your absence more than someone who thought they could live without you. You see, most people leave a door cracked. They send breadcrumbs. They hope you linger. And most men fall for it, hovering in the shadows, half gone, half hoping. But when you walk away completely, when you remove your energy, your kindness, your presence, all of it, that's when they realize the cost. They don't miss you because you're gone. They miss the weight you carried, the stability, the loyalty, the realness. Stoic detachment isn't passive. It's intentional. It's choosing to exit without a speech and without a scene. It's making your absence louder than any word you could say. And the longer you stay gone, the heavier that silence hits. Because she'll scroll, she'll ask, she'll wonder, and all she'll find is a man who's vanished, not out of weakness, but because he evolved past her reach. That's the echo you want. Not noise, not vengeance, just distance so deep it becomes a mirror she can't look away from. That's how you haunt without ever returning. Not as a ghost, but as the one who never came back. Number 10. The final play. Nothing at all. You want to know what really gets to her? Not the glow-up, not the silence, not even the fact that you didn't chase. It's the realization that you're completely unfazed, that you didn't plot revenge, that you didn't try to win the breakup, that you didn't do anything because you didn't need to. That's the final play, the nuclear move. Nothing at all. No response, no reaction, no attempt to show her what she lost. Because when you reach that level of peace, when you're no longer acting for an audience, that's when you become untouchable. The man who doesn't need to prove himself, because he's too focused on being himself. And that's not just stoicism, that's mastery. You're not ignoring her to get a reaction. You're not ghosting her to hurt her. You're just done. Entirely. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually done. That kind of closure doesn't come with a conversation. It comes with elevation. And when she realizes you didn't just move on, you moved up. That silence becomes unbearable. Because now, she's not wondering if you're hurting. She's wondering why she doesn't even matter anymore. That's the shift. That's the power. And it only comes when you give her nothing. No hate, no love. Just the cold, unwavering presence of a man who no longer gives energy where it's not respected. This is your victory. Not loud, not flashy, just final. So here you are, still standing, still breathing, not because you didn't hurt, but because you refused to stay broken. You took the hit, and instead of crawling back, you rebuilt. Quietly, brutally, intentionally. That's the way of the Stoic. That's the path of the man who chooses power over pity, discipline over drama. You didn't chase, you didn't beg, you didn't perform. You let her leave, and you let her feel it. Not with words, not with revenge, but with nothing. And in that nothing, you found everything: clarity, strength, freedom. That's the blessing in heartbreak. It either destroys you or it reveals you. And if you've made it this far, you already know which one you chose. So next time someone walks away thinking they broke you, let them, and show them what it really looks like when a man walks into silence and comes back untouchable. If this hit you, if it reminded you of who you really are, don't scroll past it. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am not broken, I am becoming. This is Stoic Blessing. I'll see you in the next one. Stay cold, stay calm, stay in control.